The Crit Show contains elements of horror, fantasy violence, and adult language. Content warnings can be found in the episode description.
Hi, Jake.
Hello. Oh, man, you got to me early. Yeah, that's been the bane of my existence. I regret ever bringing that up. No, it's been very funny. Thank you, everybody. Brings me a little bit of joy every time. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Crit Show, where we are playing the Clockwinders. Last time, our heroes enacted their daring plan to have a parade. Everybody readied their floats and their most spectacular actions. Everybody contributed a little bit to an inspirational speech in favor of the Clockwinders, and were met with general happiness and then a murmur of dissent that seemed to spread pretty quickly, which turned physically violent pretty quickly, and Einon was able to pin the first in a charge of angry people, only to discover that he had the tint of ether behind his eyes, as if he were bewitched. And that is where we find ourselves at the top of this episode. You've got this gentleman pinned to the ground, safely apprehended, but you have noticed that there are more figures making their way towards the front, and this guy is still essentially vicious and snarling, trying to get at you with that ether glow behind his eyes.
I think there's a measure of me, like, I certainly don't let up from him, but I kind of mentally soften when I see this. I'm not sure if this is something he's done himself, if he is affected otherwise, but it's just clicked, what's happening. So I'm still just trying to hold him down, and I look over my shoulder at the other two. Ether. They're affected by ether.
I don't think I hear that because I'm still yelling at the crowd.
Fair.
I think I'm just like, listen, nobody really knows what happened back then. Nobody knows why the Clockwinders stopped doing as good of a job as they used to. Maybe it wasn't their fault. You don't know. None of us know.
Can I see what he's talking about when he shouts that?
Yeah, as he calls that out, you are able to look down at this gentleman, and despite his thrashing, you can see this tint in his eyes.
Can I, try to get a read on him? Is this, he has infused himself and he's using it to power his rage, or, this is controlling him?
Yeah, I think that since you have the ether use extra, you can use lore for this, because for those with that extra, lore allows you to demonstrate and use your knowledge of ether as well. So I think this will be an overcome with lore, and I'm thinking this is probably going to be a +3. I think this will be good difficulty, because this probably isn't something that you've really encountered or had to notice before.
Okay. 3.
All right. So on a tie, you'll get what you want at a minor cost, or you get a lesser version. I think we're going to go with a minor cost. So you hop down and are kind of scrutinizing this guy, and once you're in range, he's also trying to get at you now. He realizes he's not getting any purchase on Einon. There's a new person here that he's mad at, so he'll go for you. But you can tell that it's like he is ensorceled. This is not something that he seems to have done to himself. It seems to account for how frantic his actions are here. He has kind of devolved even in the time since he marched to the front. Since Einon has subdued him, he is getting wild. And it seems like somebody has put a spell upon him, essentially, to make him angry and violent towards you all.
Einon, he's, under someone's control. Someone here is doing this to him.
I'll be damned. How do I get rid of it? And I smack him once across the face.
See if you can spot somebody doing weird shit. I don't know how you would cast something like this.
God, yeah, with that thought, I'm going to just try to glance over the crowd. I guess I should ask this first. How quickly are people pressing in that seem to have a similar
Fabulous question. So in the time that you were holding this guy down and Kade was focusing on him, for the moment you lost sight of the people creeping in, and they start to break through the front line here. Almost like a horde of zombies. More of these angry folks start actually like getting hands on the float and climbing aboard parts of the parade as if to attack the other participants.
All right, children, rally to the front.
They all get in a phalanx formation.
They've practiced this.
All of their robot parts form them into one giant mech.
One cardboard Voltron.
God, yeah, then I think I look up with that first thought to try to see if I can notice someone that might have done this, but I mean, I feel like I'm compelling myself here with I should have been there and next time I will be. There are immediate aggressors, and so I'm just jumping up to try to pull them back and just diffuse the fighting as much as I possibly can.
Okay, a couple questions then. For starters, what are you doing with the guy that you currently have?
Right. I mean, I guess starting with him is this is the start of the theme of whatever my attack is about to be for everybody. Is I don't want to cause them lasting harm. I just need them to stop attacking people. So I think I'm just gonna functionally elbow this guy in the jaw. I just want to knock him out.
All right. It feels like we're entering an initiative here because there are a lot of attackers, and at least one of you intends to be trying to quell the attackers, and they intend to attack. So, we'll start with you at the top of this initiative order. I think we're still going to do this as a conflict, but it seems like you're more leaning towards trying to invoke conditions rather than, like, harm or stress, mechanically speaking.
Yeah.
So, what attribute do you think you are using to try and put this guy out?
I mean, unless it requires that I'm doing like pure violence, I would assume fight or maybe athletics.
I could see a fight. I could see a physique. Yeah, I mean, if you want to do fight, I think that's fine.
Okay.
And I think this guy's definitely going to try and resist. He's going to defend.
Okay. 4.
Okay. He got a 1 to defend himself. So that nets you a 3, which is a success with style.
You give him a concussion with style.
So would you like to do damage, or would you like to reduce that damage by 1 and gain a boost?
If I do the damage, what are we looking at as far as will that put him out?
I would imagine that is a sticky condition. Sticky conditions are equivalent to 2 stress, but sticky conditions are the ones that something specific needs to happen to clear them, as opposed to a lasting condition, which is like it's going to last multiple sessions. I think if you are just trying to kind of temporarily incapacitate this person and knock him unconscious, that's sticky, so you'd need 2 harm to do it.
Okay, then I will go with that.
Yeah, you choke this guy unconscious, and we're going to play by movie rules for the moment where he doesn't wake back up as soon as you let go of him. So you choke him unconscious, you get this boost. Feel free to not name it until you want to invoke it.
Okay.
And who do you want to hand this off to?
Gosh, it really seems like Maxine is interacting with this crowd already, so I think it's her.
Maxine aboard the float and screaming at the crowd. Before you know it, some of these dissenters are upon you. They are on the float. One of them is coming directly for you. What would you like to do?
And another thing, there's not that many books written about this, so it's really hard to do research. Hey, wait, what are you doing? Get off the float.
She just gets tackled onto the ground.
All right, you're tackled. No, I do think that like this person closes distance and does get low and like pick up speed, like they are going to dive tackle you.
I'm grabbing a piece of the float and throwing it at this person to try and knock them off the float.
The student's name is James.
He was the mad scientist one, and he loves it.
And boy, does he fly.
Yeah.
All right, so it sounds like that's going to be a shoot roll because you are throwing something. If you are using your Earth Invocation stunt, so I'm noticing a discrepancy here. The Earth Invocation stunt does say it comes at a cost of physical exhaustion or hunger, which are the 2 sticky conditions. But then it says you can mark a fleeting condition to get the bonus. And I'm not sure if part of that is in error. I'm not sure how we want to handle that moving forward. Do we want to still mark the fleeting condition and exhaustion or hunger is just kind of for flavor in that text? Or do we want to assume that it should be a sticky condition, either exhaustion or hunger, like capital E, capital H?
I mean, I like the idea of it being angry or panicked because that's a lot easier to clear, but I think it makes sense if I'm getting a +4 to a physical action for it to be exhausted or hungry. I get both of those things when I do a lot of physical activity, so.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense. One, in terms of like taking a -2 for a +4 seems more in line with other stunts, I think. And two, like, yeah, that you have to use a bunch of energy causing you to be exhausted or hungry makes a little more sense than just becoming angry or panicked about it. So that's what we want to stick with. You want to instead call it marking a sticky condition.
Before you make your official call, do we want to look at other stunts to see like how that cost compares? Because like mine, I'm only getting like a +2, but it doesn't cost me anything, as opposed to you're having to take as something that will stay with you for 3 episodes.
Sticky doesn't stay with you for 3 episodes. Lasting stays with you for 3 episodes.
Never mind then.
I think then that math makes sense. For nothing, you can get a +2.
Yeah.
Or for -2, you can get a +4. Like, that scales to me.
Yeah, lasting conditions are the ones that you have to like start and do a whole session's worth to clear.
Okay.
Sticky conditions, you have to like take action. So exhausted or hungry, I have to sleep or eat. And then fleeting are angry and panic. So those are kind of like high tension in the moment, but once the scene has passed, those will clear.
Yeah, I have both of those right now, just sitting here at the table. So like, it can't be that bad.
He's both sticky and fleeting.
Like a preschooler.
I feel so seen.
Yeah, and I think I'll mark exhaustion for this.
Okay, so make your attack roll with shoot and with your additional +4 from your earth invocation. And they're going to try to dodge it, by God.
4.
All right, they got a 0. So that is a success with style for you. So again, you can either do damage or you can reduce the damage by 1 and gain a boost.
I'll take the boost.
All right. You do this person 3 harms, and they are simply knocked back by this piece of float. They hit the ground and stay there. Not like dead, just like all the fight is knocked immediately out of this person. They're just kind of laying there groaning in pain and discomfort.
I'm just like, despite the fact that I just threw something, violence is not the answer.
And who do you want to pass the violence off to now?
Kade.
Can I try to find the person, if there is a person here doing this?
Yes, you can do this for your turn. Currently, you are like on the ground with the person that Einon had KO'd.
Yeah.
So what's your positioning to try and spot this person?
I think get up on top of Smee and just try to look around.
I think this is going to be an overcome with investigate. I think this is going to be pretty tough.
Okay.
You are trying to find a needle in a haystack here. I'm inclined to say that you're trying to beat a 5.
Whoa.
This seems superbly difficult to me to look out over a city crowd
Yeah.
and spot the one problem.
I'm looking for the one calm person.
Yeah. Or, yeah, not even the one problem. The one problem you're concerning yourself with amidst the other problems spinning around you.
So that is a 5.
Nice.
To try to help this, can I use one of the boosts on one of the knocked out people?
Theoretically, yeah. What are you calling it? How would this help you?
It would be called like drawn. Like as they start to come around, their eyes like drift back to the last place they remember being.
Oh, like they had to maybe be affected in a proximity to the person and that they've come. Oh, I like that.
You can. So that will get you a +2. But I'm actually going to spend one of my fate points to invoke an aspect against you in this regard.
Okay.
The aspect is called 3 steps ahead. So that will knock you back down to just the tie. Do you want to escalate?
Yeah, I think so. I think I notice what's out of place.
Nice. Keep it going.
Okay, I'm also going to spend another point then to invoke another one against you. This one is called Awesome Ether Witch.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Can I help in some way?
You tell me.
Not with that question mark, you can't.
You tell me. How long-winded is the sales pitch going to be?
I think this is a super quick one. Kade's been working with me now for several weeks, and I think that experienced hunter is rubbing off a little bit. Like,
Okay. Go ahead and spend one of your fate points as well.
He's like, okay, stop the sentence.
because you see, when we were out,
So we didn't talk about it, but off screen, we had a montage Like Dagobah.
We did a whole training session on spotting awesome witches.
I was in a backpack.
Whatever you said.
At the time, it was more just like a sort of a
Fever dream.
yeah.
I love how cracked my voice is.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this was a thing.
Well, I keep accidentally defaulting to your voice when you introduce a new character that you've made up. So I need to really break that habit.
Amazing.
Everyone you know sounds like you. Okay. I don't have anything else, I think, to play against you. So
Okay.
you get your full success. So you climb up on Smee and you start scanning the crowd. It seems like there are additional people, like, still starting to filter in, like from further back in the crowd. And I think you kind of trace the line of them, you know, like people doing the wave, like, all right, this person's closer, and then the next closest is them, and then the next closest is them. And you kind of chart a path, and you lay eyes on a woman with fiery red hair. She has some piercings on her brow, and she is placing a hand on someone else's face and looking them in the eyes. And you see that person start to turn and push their way through the crowd, and you see her smile and look in the direction of the float and lock eyes with you as well.
Yeah, as she looks at me, I'm going to web her with ether. I'm going to put a free invoke on her. Caught in the web. Thwip.
Okay. You use your stunt to create this free invoke.
And unfortunately, I have no choice now but to give it to the NPCs, who now get to go twice in a row.
Accurate. So let's start with some of the nearer attackers, the ones who are upon you guys and upon the floats. Kade, one of the attackers who was right at the front of the crowd, who was just breaking through, seems to lock on to you first thing, you being like very tall and close to the edge, trying to spot who's behind this. So you see one of them rush in your direction and kind of jump like they're going to try and scramble up Smee and just drag you off.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to defend yourself?
I would.
What attribute do you think you're using to do so? This person is going to be rolling fight to try and grab you and yank you off of Smee.
I'd like to defend against this. I don't know that I have. And you can always roll things you don't have.
Yeah, you can roll something you got a 0 in. You could do a physique. You could do an athletics.
Yeah, I think it's going to be athletics. The idea of like trying to hop down off the other side before he can get me.
Okay. They got a 0.
I got a -2.
Oh my God.
Oh, no.
You just slide off the wrong side
Yeah.
towards them,
I start to slide off, clang my head, land on the cement.
land in their arms.
That's hysterical. Have we yet had a moment where somebody got a success with a 0 because the other person rolled in the negatives?
I don't know.
Well, okay, they do you a little bit of damage. So you are going to take 2 points of stress. Feel free to turn that into conditions instead if you'd prefer. But yeah, they grab you and just get a handful of your tank top and drag you off Smee into the ground with them.
Does it matter which kind of stress, or is it just however you justify it?
This will be physical stress.
Okay.
Because it is like a physical attack.
Okay.
Mental stress would be attacks on your willpower or...
If somebody calls you a nerd.
Yes,
Whoa.
things like that.
Emotional stress.
Yeah, so I'm going to take 1 physical stress, and then I'm going to be panicked.
Fair enough. Einon, as you are getting the lay of the land, you turn to see one of these attackers who had climbed up onto the front float that you are standing in front of, like the lead singer of a rock band, just dive off of the stage trying to body slam you.
Amazing.
It's not the lead singer of the band, though, right? It's not Ether Beaver's frontman.
Oh, I hope
Nope.
not. Oh, thank God.
It's just like him.
Yeah.
No, you actually see him and the rest of the band quickly gathering their instruments and trying to like run further towards the back of the parade, like jumping float to float like their train's being robbed.
Wow, they are not punks, okay? That's egregious.
Yeah.
Oh, good point. That was sort of a knee-jerk decision. Maybe they are. Maybe they're badass. Maybe they're fighting back. I don't know. Do you want to defend yourself? Let me think about this for a second.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to catch this guy in midair, roll onto my back, and flip him over my head.
That's a lot. What attribute are you rolling?
Gosh, again, I feel like this is either athletics or straight fight. Probably closer to athletics.
Honestly, if you're trying to catch him and flip, well, okay, I could see an athletics. That kind of sounds physique-y to me.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You got to be pretty strong and endurant.
Yeah, it's more, the way I'm imagining it is more redistributing his momentum as opposed to tanking the hit.
You're Aikidoing this guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Roll physics.
Oh, no.
Yeah, go ahead and do an athletics. He got a 1 to attack.
You're getting dangerously close when Jake asks you what you want to do. I'm about to start calling you TJ because you describe like 4 things in a row.
Yeah.
You want to grab him, body slam him, flip him in the air?
I don't know.
Just
Inject him with poison?
The backflip is the back roll. It's only like 2 seconds of time. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, it would have like, that move would have one name in judo.
Exactly. 5.
Okay. You defend with style, both narratively and mechanically. So you gain a boost.
Hell yeah.
I like where your head's at more. I think that the band are fighting back against the onslaught. Or, you know what? I'm changing my mind again because, like, these attackers are kind of, you're the man. You're kind of the man, and the attackers are kind of, like, rebelling against the man right now. So is it more punk for them to attack you?
Are they jumping in? No ether in their eyes, just pure,
They're just like, fuck yeah!
Just pure blitzkrieg bop coming at us here.
They're in, I can't decide. They're in stasis for the moment.
Okay.
Maxine, you feel a hand close around your ankle, and you look down and see that one of the attackers who is on the ground, who is trying to make their way up onto the float, has kind of like gotten their belly up there and has reached out to grab onto you, and you can feel that they are trying to pull you off the edge of the float. Do you want to defend yourself?
Yeah.
What form do you think that takes?
I guess let me know if this is too much, but I want to shoot a firework at him.
Okay, I think to respond and target quickly enough, this is going to be with athletics. Your attacker got a -1.
I also got a -1.
All right, so you defend, but the enemy gains a boost.
How they have a firework.
Shot by firework. Parentheses, but in a good way.
Yeah. And their boost could even just be like that she's off balance. Like, it doesn't have to be a boost attached to them, right?
It's just just an aspect, just a truth. Unfortunately for me, boosts don't have to be named until they're utilized. So you manage to defend. You manage to shoot them in the face with a firework, and they let go of your ankle and stagger back and away.
And you feel like something's wrong, but you don't know what it is.
You know what it is? Coming up on the other side of your wagon, ads. Sneaking up behind you. They got a knife.
A handful of other nearby attackers that had breached the floats just start causing some like miscellaneous destruction. The kids that were performing, they all scream and bail. They start fleeing towards the back of the procession and reach a point of safety. Chief Forbin and Hector are trying to fight back and subdue some of these attackers, but they're just like yanking down your paper maches and popping, well, they're not tires, probably, breaking wheels, breaking spokes. I guess I don't know the condition of wheels in this world. We haven't talked about that yet. Those that were trying to make their way through the crowd are still trying to do that, and they need to roll, and they do not succeed. It seems like none of them make much progress, if any at all. And in the midst of the chaos, that witch that Kade had identified is going to try to slink away.
I am going to invoke... She's just tangled in that web, so it's a little more difficult.
Okay. You use your free invoke of your webs of ether to interfere with her roll. So she is trying to overcome and beat +3 good difficulty. She has a -2 from your webs. She does not succeed, so your webs hold. Your webs spring up about her and adhere her to her spot. That being said, as Rev had called, she's going to pass the initiative right back to herself at the top of the next round.
Yep, makes sense.
And you are out of free invokes. Do you want to spend to invoke it again?
I will wait until she rolls, I guess, which is probably what I should have done before.
That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, no need. She, again, does not meet her target. She fails to make progress out of this crowd.
Okay.
The remainder of the attackers that are near you all actually cease their hostilities and start to try to make their way back into the crowd. So they start dismounting from the floats and trying to make their way back towards the front. The crowd now is more panicked and non-navigable than ever. Everybody in there is scrambling, trying to find a way out, but they're all packed in so tight that it is hard for anybody to get anywhere they're trying to go. That includes the ensorceled people who were trying to make their way forward. They are now trying to make their way back through the crowd in the opposite direction, and it looks like it is a nightmare. And I think it makes the most sense to pass the initiative off to Kade from here, who was the one keeping an eye on this situation primarily.
So the one who pulled me off of Smee has just stopped and started trying to push their way back the other direction through the crowd.
Correct.
Boy, I'm gonna get on Smee, and I am going to try to move through the crowd over them.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna use my stunt, because I believe this would be overcoming a physical obstacle.
It absolutely would.
Excellent.
So you are trying to beat a +3 difficulty. What do you think you're using to move through, as far as what you're rolling here?
I think it's got to be athletics, because I don't want to step on anybody. It could be physique if he was just
bull rushing through.
Yeah, but I think that it's very we've never seen Smee this tall. His legs are super close and he's really high because he's trying to tick, tick, tick through people and over them.
Okay.
3.
I think I'm going to spend a fate point to invoke one of your aspects against you.
Oh.
You have Maxine's back, and in the midst of all this turmoil, I don't know that you would be willing to just dip on her and leave her back here in the middle of this crowd to go after what you want to go after. So I am going to spend my fate point to give you a -2. That will drop you back to a fail on this overcome. Is there anything you can or want to do to resist that?
No. I mean, yes, but I think you're right.
Get back here.
Yeah. I feel like that's one of the more powerful aspects I have in the sense of the hierarchy of them all.
Fair. And as a bit of a mechanical clarification, this is not a compel. A compel is something that I might feed you before the roll. You could agree to and earn a fate point, or disagree with and spend a fate point. This is a hostile invocation. So just I spend the fate point. It drops your total by whatever I've invoked against you by -2. You don't have to agree with it or disagree with it. You don't really get the opportunity, but you could still maybe make up the numbers difference by invoking other aspects, et cetera, et cetera. The other thing it gets you is the fate point that I have to spend to do that. At the end of the scene, I will turn over the fate point it cost me to invoke that against you.
Ooh.
So Smee tries to start parting this crowd, and it is just too dense and too wild. His little feetsies happen to be so close together, they keep getting kind of knocked out from under him. You don't full on topple, but it's like walking on ice out here. Who would you like to hand it off to?
Maxine, I think. That's where my attention went.
Maxine, all of these people that were attacking are now trying to fall back. It's not like they're sprinting or anything. There's not a major... There is a bit of urgency to them, but it's not like World War Z zombies just going balls out trying to get back to the crowd. But they all fall back with purpose, trying to push their way back through the crowd away from the parade. What do you want to do?
I'm looking for Kade and Einon.
They are nearby. They are both on the ground in front of the floats. Kade is atop Smee near the edge of the crowd.
I'll jump down off the float and run over to them. Are you guys okay?
Yes, so far. Where the hell are they going now?
I don't know.
I think they're headed to the lady who's doing it. There's a red-headed lady out there. She's got a brow piercing, and she was caressing this guy's face, and then he turned and was angry and started coming towards us.
An ether magician.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta find her. And I'll take off into the crowd, following the people that are pushing back through.
Okay. You two are going to be fighting against the difficulty of moving through this crowd. So roll to overcome with, I'm imagining, athletics as well. Trying to beat a 3.
Absolutely not. That's a 0.
Oh, no.
Okay. Yeah, same. You start trying to push through, and you are just buffeted by the commotion, the motion. I didn't want to say 2 motion words back to back, but everybody's moving around, and it's hard to get through.
It's like an ocean.
Who's next?
Einon.
I mean, if she's hauling ass that way, I'm gonna try to clear a path and do it as well.
Okay. Same roll.
That is a 6. No, 7.
Okay. You succeed with style, so you accomplish what you're trying to, and you gain a boost.
I'm just being pushed back in the opposite direction. And Einon's just this is easy.
Follow me, I know the way. They're gone. They're both gone.
This is like when I was in 2nd grade and we were all on the playground playing Red Rover, and a bunch of the boys called me over because I was itty bitty small, and I ran and I tried as hard as I could, and I just got clotheslined and fell in the mud. It was awful.
Oh,
This is exactly like that.
it's exactly like that.
That does sound sad, but also kind of funny. I think seeing a kid get clotheslined at a Red Rover is also pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, so Einon, you are able to push into the next zone. We haven't really talked about zones as such thus far, but zones are sort of fictional placement related areas. They are separated not by like physical distance. It's not like one zone is 10 feet and the next zone is 20 feet, but just by, do the circumstances change between this area and this area? Is there an obstacle between this area and this area that you need to overcome? Which in this case there was. So you have managed to overcome this obstacle and move through into the next zone, which is within the crowd. And you start pushing your way towards the back where Kade has indicated the red-headed woman is. That is the end of this round of initiative. Who would you like to go at the top of the next? May I make a suggestion? The witch.
Yeah.
Now just hear me out.
Oh, yeah.
Let the bad guys go.
Oh.
Like, let them go. Like, let them get
Let
away.
them go.
Yeah, let them go and let them go.
I'm going to give it to Kade. Don't forget, we have that boost. Hopefully, maybe to help get y'all through the crowd.
I believe you have a couple of boosts floating
Yeah.
around by now. Is
Yeah.
anybody keeping track of those? Because I ain't.
I think we only have one.
Somebody had gotten a boost from defending so good that I don't think has been used yet.
Yeah. I didn't mark down one of the fighting boosts because that part's kind of over. So I felt like it probably disappeared into the ether.
That's fair. Yeah, well, fuck it. We're down to one. Sucks to suck. All right, Kade, what are you doing? You are welcome to just retry the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, now that Einon is showing the clear path through, I'll follow.
Same roll.
2, I will use that boost that he has.
What are you calling it?
I'm calling it...
Everybody move.
I'm calling it In My Footsteps.
Oh,
Touching.
I love it.
This is where Smee carried you.
Okay, that will get you the success. So same thing. You are able to overcome this obstacle and pass through into the next zone, making your way into the crowd with Einon.
I think I have to let Maxine go because it's already been established that I don't want to get too far away from her,
Okay.
which mechanically is not ideal.
Do I have to fight my way through this crowd? Can I convince them to crowd surf me back?
Yeah, you don't have to overcome this physically. You could try an alternative method.
That's what I want to do.
I love it. I think it's going to be the same. Oh, is it going to be the same difficulty?
Ooh,
Yeah, it's got to be.
Can I do it by getting Ether Beaver to start playing to get the crowd pumped and like in the mood for crowd surfing?
Listen, is this band emo or like punk? Because it seems like we've waffled both ways a little bit.
Yeah, we've been waiting a couple rounds to find out what Ether Beaver stands for.
Yeah, like
I
think
told
there's
you they were in stasis. Like they just froze solid.
I think this is a big difference on what they do if this is like My Chemical Romance versus the Ramones. Like there's going to be a wildly different approach here.
Sure.
I have crowd surfed at an My Chemical Romance concert.
Sure, yeah.
So I'm gonna go with that one.
I think that's interesting because at like the Ramones, everybody's just going to be fist fighting in the pit. Like, it's a very different feel.
It seems to me like getting them to play is your move, is creating an advantage.
Yeah.
That then could be invoked by you or by other people, but it would be the end of your
That's fair.
turn here. You want to do that though?
Yeah, I think I've got to look for an alternate way other than just trying to like force my way through because I have a feeling it's just going to be like me hitting a Red Rover wall over and over again.
Okay. I think you're going to roll to create an advantage with rapport then to get them to start playing for you.
While you're dealing with the band, I have to say, in the Discord the other day, someone made a joke about our parade and our situation that made me lose my mind.
It was so
saw it.
good.
Roll 76 trombones for the big parade was
Yep.
the sentence.
Pretty good.
God
Very good.
damn it, that was good. That was one of those jokes where like my eyes glazed and the sun rose and set a couple of times.
I think you're still trying to beat a 3 here. I think good difficulty.
6.
Okay.
Nice.
I just run up to them and I'm like, okay, guys, I need real high energy. Let's get this crowd pumped. I got to get them to get me to the back. 3, 2, 1, go!
Yeah, the stasis field falls around them. They start rocking out, and you have succeeded with style. So you get 2 free invokes on this aspect, which we are going to call The Music Moves Me.
Oh, love it.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That will pass the initiative to the bad guys. So let's have 1 wave of attackers, see if they can bust through. The ones who were trying to break back into the crowd rolled a tie. So they either pay a minor cost or they get a lesser version. I'm going to say that they pay a minor cost, which is that as they start to bust through into the new zone, some of them snap out of it, which as soon as they do is no longer a cost to them. It was the best case scenario.
Kind of a cost for the witch.
Yeah. The ones that are in the midst of the crowd stay stuck in the midst of the crowd. And the witch manages to break free of this zone and start to...
What did she get?
She got a 5 against the 3. She succeeded, but not with style.
I can invoke the webbing to give it a tie. I'm trying to decide if that's beneficial in the long run, but that's for Jake to decide how that helps us or hurts. So I'm gonna re-invoke the webbing and spend one of my fate points.
Okay. So yeah, that'll break her down to a tie.
I gotta try. I have to ask before we get out of this. I have to try, and I'm going to try to keep it in as few words as possible. Keen reactions. Can I really jostle the people ahead of me to domino these people down ahead of me, since we're in the same zone, to try to knock her down?
That feels like a awfully tough putt to me. Like, that feels like a loose application of reactions.
Okay.
Alternatively, some things that we know are true, like you could instead invoke her aspect, Awesome Ether Witch, that like people fucking notice her, what she's doing, and it makes it harder for her to, like, people around her start panicking, so maybe it opens up or it closes down.
Ooh, I would spend a point on that.
We are getting back into like the hostile invocation zone here. So you'd owe me a fate point at the end of the scene.
I see.
If you did that.
Final pitch, aside from giving her the fate point. She's got to at least have some awareness of who we are. And now I'm in the crowd with her. The fucking boogeyman's coming.
Oh!
That's way better.
Yeah, I like that.
That's pretty good. I think that's fair.
All right, I'm going to spend it.
Okay. Then that drops her back down to the fail. But she is going to pass... The bad guys are going to pass the initiative order to themselves at the top of the next round.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, the attackers that are within the crowd are going to try to create an advantage.
Ooh.
So they're going to roll with physique, trying to beat a 3. And they get a 4. So they create a new aspect. They just start, like, moshing out here. Like, they just start trying to fuck this crowd up even more than before, trying to make it more difficult to traverse.
Can I invoke one of the free invokes on The Music Moves Me to knock that down?
They start trying to mosh, and the people just start dancing along with it. It's all flowy, and it doesn't affect them.
It's actually easier to navigate than ever now, because you just kind of have to watch the waves. You can. So how does that interfere with what they're trying to do? Is it as Rev said? Does everybody get moving to the music and it nullifies their attempt, or does this manifest some other way?
Yeah, I mean, mosh pits are dangerous because everybody is working together to kind of like do the same thing. It's always really shitty when like one person is trying to mosh in a group of people that are just trying to enjoy the music and like focus on what's happening there. So I think it just keeps them from getting anything dangerous going.
Okay. Then they do not create an aspect. That just leaves the witch, who is going to try to get out of this fucking zone again, now without an advantage, goddammit. But she hits a success. She gets a 5 against the 3, unless anybody's got something to say about it.
I'm going to invoke something that I haven't invoked yet. Magic is unpredictable and strong, that she's like feeling shudders and stuff from the magic she's been using and influencing other people with.
All right, that'll knock her down to the tie.
I mean, I feel like I'm getting closer here. I know which way scared game is going to try to dart away, and I'm an experienced hunter.
Okay, spend another one.
Woo!
So Rev's out now.
Yeah.
Tass out.
Yep.
Sitting pretty at 3.
Yeah.
I've done nothing.
She again fails to break out of this zone. Unfucking believable. Whose turn is it? Who do they pass it to? I'm giving it to Maxine first.
Fair.
I'm up on stage with the band and I'm getting the crowd pumped, and then I'm going to jump into the crowd and get them to sail me right onto the back.
Okay. Roll to overcome with rapport. You've got a free invoke left of the band if you need it, and you're trying to beat a 3.
5, and I will take that invoke.
To succeed with style?
Yep.
All right. Then you do it and you gain a boost. So you hop onto the hands of the crowd and manage to break through the obstacle and into this zone. That puts literally all of you in the same zone again within the crowd. Maxine, who goes next?
Kade's next.
All right, so we are now in the same zone as her.
Correct, which means you don't have to roll to, like, move, really. Like, it's your turn, you know, unless somebody tried to attack you or whatever, like, you don't have another obstacle to overcome. There is a scene aspect on this crowd that, like, it's fucking wild and hard to navigate, but I'm out of fate points, so I can't use it against you, and you're out of fate points, so you can't use it, so it's sort of irrelevant.
All right, I'm going to use Smee to just knock her over. I'm going to try to take her down.
Okay, go ahead and roll to attack with fight, and she's going to try to defend with lore.
3.
She got a 6 to defend.
Whoa!
Whoa.
You try to bull rush her, and as you approach, you get a better look at her. You can see that she is wearing a long crimson dress, a green amulet around her neck, and as you get close to make contact with her, she throws her hands towards the floor, like fingertips down, and you see green spiral tattoos kind of appear and light up her arms, the entire length, like full sleeves on both arms, that are the tinge of ether. And you instead hit an invisible barricade between the two of you, and Smee kind of bounces off of it.
Oh, God, she's strong.
Who's next?
Einon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm shouldering through to get to her as well. Good afternoon, madam. If you could refrain from ensorceling the good people of Sun's Edge, I'd appreciate it, and I'd like to spear tackle her as hard as I can.
Okay. Roll to attack with fight. She's again gonna try to defend.
6.
She only got a 4.
Let's go.
So you succeed. You do 2 points of damage. You see her try to throw her hands down again. You see the magic kind of start to climb those tattoos from her wrists up, but you are too quick. You tackle her and knock her to the ground, and both of you sort of like roll out in danger of being trampled by the rest of this crowd. That is the end of this round, so who goes first at the top of the next round, Tass?
Well, we'd better check on Maxine's progress here.
Maxine?
Woo!
All right, who goes next?
How easy am I making my way back here?
You're fine. You are able to traverse this just fine.
Yeah, I'll tumble off the back of the crowd here, and make my way over to Kade and Einon, looking at this ether magician. Wait, who are you? Why are you trying to make people fight us?
She's not going to be inclined to answer you, but are you trying to, like, actually roll against her to, like, get information out of her?
Yeah, I think anything we can learn about this lady is going to be useful, so.
Okay, so what do you think that you are utilizing? This is going to be less of a conflict and more of a contest. You're going to roll something, she's going to roll something against it. It's still kind of like attack and defend, but not for harm, just to see whether who succeeds, who comes out on top.
I mean, I think it's rapport. It's trying to find whatever would make her inclined to answer.
I don't know that rapport is going to pull it off. Rapport is to, like, charm people or inspire people, but, like, you have been in active combat with this person. She is clearly hostile towards all of you, and your teammates have proven hostile towards her. And, like, rapport is not mind control.
Right. Okay, so is this more of provoke? Because that's kind of what I'm thinking here is I'm not trying to charm her, but I'm trying to, like, hit whatever buttons I need to get her to kind of snap back information at us.
Provoke is something that can, like, force somebody into... You can intimidate someone for information. You could make them mad so they act out. You could scare them into running away. And it does have an explicit opposition, which is will, so that would make sense. I
feel
feel
you're
like
just saying the right things to make her say the stuff you want.
Yeah, to make her like maybe accidentally or impulsively spit out what you want to know.
Exactly.
I don't feel though that what you said so far is a provocation.
Yeah.
So you might need to reframe that, but I think that yes could get you to a provoke roll.
Exact same words, just put some stank on it.
Yeah. For somebody so powerful at controlling ether, you sure are running away pretty fast. Ooh.
I bet we wouldn't even recognize your name because you're so weak.
Like, what is it? Nothing, probably.
Okay, go ahead and roll a provoke.
I'm gonna die.
She's gonna resist with will.
1.
-1.
Whoa.
What's your provoke?
0.
Well, that's what her will is too, so perfect. Her attention snaps in your direction. She kind of spits out with vitriol. Oh, if you survive this encounter, you'll learn to fear the name of Sevna, you fool. And I think that's where we're going to end it this time round.
Should that name mean anything to us? Like, she said it and then you ended, and I'm like, I don't know who you are, lady.
No, I don't think that name should mean anything to you thus far.
Okay.
I mean, she said, did I misspeak? She said you'll come to fear the name.
Yeah, you'll learn to fear it.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Like, not that you already should necessarily.
Uh-huh.
She didn't Star-Lord you. Anyway, we're done. Stop asking questions. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for another episode of The Critshow. If you are interested in more information about the Clockwinders, the setting, the world, or fate as a system, you can find that information in the episode notes. If you would like to see or hear or smell or taste any of the other things that we have made, you can join our Patreon. That is patreon.com/thecritshow. If you become a patron, you can get your name read at the end of an episode, just like Sam Marcus and Kark E. Dwayne. Thank you very much. And tune in next time for another episode. Everybody tell them, give them the old what for.
Taste what we've made.
What for?
Hi, Jake.
The Crit Show is a Critshow Studios production, edited and produced by Brandon Wentz, with music by Jake Purley. You can find more information about us at thecritshowpodcast.com. To keep up to date with upcoming live shows, contests, and other special events, follow us at The Crit Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For even more weekly content, join us at patreon.com/thecritshow.